Yeah, yesterday I explained few asset methods in Junit, right? Like mainly we will use asset equals so that you can compare two values, expected value and actual value. Sometimes you will use asset true. So if you have two values, you wanna compare. If both are equal, if I wanna pass the test case, then I will call asset equals. But if I have a boolean value, if that is true, I wanna pass the test case, then I will call asset true. If I have a boolean value, if that is false, if I wanna make the test case as pass, then I will make it as, I will call asset false. I will show you that. So I will tell you what does it mean by palindrome first. So palindrome means, yesterday I told about string reverse, right? So if you reverse the string, you will get some other string, right? If both are equal, we'll call it as palindrome. If I say madam, if I reverse it, what will I get? Again madam, right? MADAM. So madam is a palindrome. Run a Java application. So it's saying is palindrome. Okay. So I have some method called is palindrome. Okay, what it will do means, if I give a string, if it is a palindrome, it will return true for me. If I give a string and if it is not a palindrome, then it will give me false. Okay, if I have these kind of methods, how can I test it? If I am getting integer values or string values, I will expect something and I will get the actual value and I will compare both, right? Here, in case of Boolean values, there is no need to compare two values. We can directly use asset true. Some method is there, we can use that. I will show you now. So at the rate test, public void test is palindrome. So that method I am trying to test. Okay, to test that method, I need to create an object for palindrome. Palindrome object equal to new palindrome. So in case of Boolean values, you don't need to expect anything. Uh, so like earlier test cases, you need to prepare the input. So I'm preparing my input. So is palindrome method is accepting a string. So my input is string. So I'm preparing that string as equal to madam. Now what will I do means, so if I call obj dot is palindrome for string s, what will happen? Madam is a palindrome, so it will return me true value. So if I get true value, madam is a palindrome, that I know. If I get a true value from it, then I can say that it is working fine, right? So I will write the test case like this. I can write it like this also, asset dot asset equals. So this will return me output. So madam is a palindrome, so my expected value is true and my output is, so I will compare both. Output should come true and my expected value is true. If both are equal, my test case will pass. Like this I can write. So it is passed. But there is another simplest way. Instead of calling asset as asset equals, you can directly say asset dot asset true. If I wanna pass the test case, if the value is true, then I will say that asset dot asset true output. I can directly compare. If I am looking for a true value as my output, there is no need to call asset dot asset equal my expert value is true and comparing the output. It is not needed. It's a lengthy process. You can directly call asset dot asset true and you can pass output. So if the value is true, then the test case will pass. Okay. So if I give my name Dev, then if I run it, what will happen? The test case is failing. It is saying asset error because if I give Dev, the value will become false, right? Because Dev is not a palindrome. So I implemented it right. So it will give me false value. If I get false value, then I shouldn't assert for true value. If I assert for true value, then what will happen? The test case will fail. So if I have the condition like this, if I am looking for a false value, then I should assert for the same. I should say assert dot assert false output. If I am looking for a false value, then I should say assert dot assert false. If I am looking for a true value, I should say assert dot assert true. So like that, if I am looking for comparison of two values, then I will say asset dot asset equals and I will give the expected value and the actual value. But if I am looking for a true value, I can directly call asset dot asset true. If I am looking for a false value, I can call asset dot asset false. And there is one more thing called asset dot asset not equal. That is also important. Sometimes we don't look for equality of two values, we will look for not equal of two values, not equal of two values, then we will call asset dot asset not equal. These four are very very important for us, we will use them much in real time. So what are the main four asset methods we will use in JUnit means asset dot asset equal, asset dot asset not equal, asset dot asset true, asset dot asset false. Okay, is it clear for everyone? The important asset methods in asset class.
Hello.
Yeah, Rajan, tell me.
Yesterday you said that to do one of the test case, right? I created that asset, but for that I again did one. I imported uh, that asset class. That's then I got that. I'm not getting like you directly that asset equal to minimum con output like that. I'm not getting it.
Okay. I will
You
make one
understand?
presenter, just share your screen.
You able to see my screen?
Yeah, I'm able to see. Okay, expand it. Expand the third. At the third line, you have a plus icon, right? Click on that. So you imported a wrong one. Just remove that import. At the fifth line, you
Yes.
have JUnit framework asset, right? Just remove that. Delete that line. So don't be confused. If you see a strike off, that means that is deprecated. That is no longer in use. That is the meaning. Now hover on it. Hover on the 14th line. You have a red mark right in the 14th line. Hover on it. Yeah. On top of asset, hover on it. So yeah, hover on it. Hover on it. He will give you two import options. No, not like that. Don't right click. Just hover on it. Yeah, yeah. So you need to import the second one, org JUnit. We shouldn't download it from JUnit or framework. We should import it from org JUnit.
The second one, right?
Yeah, just click on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, save that. So yeah, uh, I will make myself as presenter now. So it's clear for everyone, right? All asset methods. Now I will explain annotations in Junit. We saw one annotation at the rate test. The purpose of it is if you keep at the rate test annotation, then only the method will be recognized as a test method. If you don't keep it, Junit doesn't consider as a test method. That is the purpose of at the rate test. If you wanna make any method as a test method, you should keep at the rate test annotation in Junit. Okay. Now there are five more annotations in JUnit. I will tell you the purpose of it. So the main purpose of other annotations is uh, I will explain it in this way. I will give you a use case. So in Facebook, always I'm referring to Facebook because you can easily relate to it. If I talk about some other website, no, you may not work on that website. But if I tell about Facebook, everyone can easily relate, right? I think everyone will use Facebook nowadays. That's why I'm referring Facebook every time. Okay. Uh, in Facebook, I asked you to test the post status functionality. What does that mean by post status? If I write something on my wall and post it, then it has to be posted and it has to be visible to all my friends or friends of my friends or to public. Based on the settings I have given, it has to be visible for everyone, right? uh, if I ask you to test that, what will you do? You will log in into the Facebook, uh, and you will post something, then you will log out from it, you will log in again with the friend credentials, and you will check whether the status is coming in the news feed of him or not. That is one test case. And I asked you to send a message to a friend. Then what you will do, you will log in with your credentials, you will send a message to your friend, and you will log in with your friend credentials, and you will check whether the message is received by your friend or not, like that. So I can write any test case, but what is the first action I am doing? I'm logging into the Facebook account, right? I'm logging into the Facebook account, right? For both the cases I should do login. But login is not part of my test case. My test case will start from posting the status onto the wall. But to reach that state, to post some message onto the wall, definitely I should log in. Login is not part of my test case, but that is essential to perform the actions. Okay. If I don't do login before, then I cannot do anything, right? I have already tested login, then why should I place it again in another test case? I have already if I have already checked it, then there is no need to keep it as a step of another test case, right? So we have these kind of uh, use cases. We have these kind of use cases. I don't want to keep something in my test script as a step, but that is needed for me. I should do it. If I don't do it, I cannot proceed with my test case. Those kind of things are known as setup. To deal with these kind of test these kind of situations, Junit come up with two annotations, at the rate before and at the rate before class. I will tell the difference between them later, but the main purpose of them is to do setup. Few steps are not part of the test case, but those are needed for my test case. If I want to run my test case, those steps are mandatory. In such cases, I will use at the rate before method. At the rate before method means, or at the rate before class method. That will do some setup for me. After that, I will continue with my test case. So let me write some class called Facebook test. So I don't implement anything here. I will just write few methods. At the rate test, as I explained, sorry, at the rate test, public void test post status. This out. Here I will implement all the steps related to post status. Testing post status. So here I am just printing a notification, but uh, I should import org.jnit always. My intention is to implement the post status steps. Then I am writing one more one more method called test messages. Test messages. So here also I will say this out testing messages. Testing messages off. Okay, I wrote two things. But I told you, right, to do post status, definitely I have to log into Facebook account. So that implementation, entering username, entering password, logging into the website, I don't place in at the rate test method. I will keep it in at the rate before method. There is something called at the rate before. Otherwise, I will use at the rate before class. Okay. Public. If I use at the rate before class, I should make that method as static, because all class related stuff you can call only through static keyword. This out login into Facebook. So the logic I will implement, but here for the example I am just giving a notification. Okay, yeah. So if I do like this, if I run it, you can see first login into the Facebook is printed. That means that before calling any test method in the class, it will call at the rate before class. At the rate before class. Okay, so at the rate, if you implement the logic to login into the Facebook, it will be called, right? So login will be performed by at the rate before class, and the test will be executed after that. So only the steps related to the test case will present here. All setup tasks mm, will be presented in the setup method. We will associate at the rate before class method. The purpose of at the rate before class is before executing any test method in the class, at the rate before class will be called. So if you want to do any setup task to run a test script, you can use at the rate before class annotation. Now I will tell you the difference between at the rate before class and at the rate before. If you want to use at the rate before, you should delete the static method from here and you need to import that. Okay, see this. If I use at the rate before class, login into the Facebook is called once and both the test scripts are executed. Now let me run the same with at the rate before. See what happened. Logged into the Facebook, then the first step is executed, testing message option. The second test is executed. Then logged into the Facebook is called again, and testing post status is executed. The difference between at the rate before and at the rate before class is at the rate before class will be called only once per the class. Even I have 100 test cases, it will be called once, and all other test cases will be executed. But if you use at the rate before, it will be called for each and every test case. If I have 100 test cases, then it will be called 100 times. In real time, what is the significance of at the rate before class and at the rate before is our requirement only. My manager gave me the requirement like this. So run test cases in Facebook. For each and every test case, you should log in into the Facebook. After, so what he told me that log into the Facebook first, execute the first test script, log out from it. Then log in again, execute second test script, log out from it. Again log in, test third test script, log out. That is one kind of use case. In that use case, what will I do? Each and every time I should log in, right? For each and every test case. In such cases, I will use at the rate before class. At the rate before, sorry. I will use at the rate before. If I wanna do some setup for each and every test case in my class, then I will use at the rate before. My manager gave me some other requirement. Log into the Facebook account, run all the test cases, execute all 100 or 1000 or 10, then log out from it. So you need to log in only once, you can execute all the test cases. In such cases, I will use at the rate before class. If I wanna do the setup for all the test cases once, then I will use at the rate before class. If I wanna do setup for each and every test case alone, then I will use at the rate before. Okay. There are two more called at the rate after and at the rate after class. The purpose of after and after class is, I told you, right? After login, I will execute all my test cases. After completing the test case execution, what will I do? I will log out from it and I will close the browser, right? So opening the browser, logging into the website is setup part, and log out from it and closing the browser is tear down, right? So the tear down, log out from the website and closing the browser is also not part of the test case. But at the end of the test case, I need to do that. So if something is not part of the test case, but at the end of the test case, if I wanna run it, then I will use at the rate after or at the rate after class. The difference between at the rate after and at the rate after class is same, like at the rate before and at the rate before class. If I wanna do tear down for all the test cases once, I will use at the rate after class. If I wanna do the tear down for each and every test case alone, then I will use at the rate after. So for Facebook account, I have to log in and log out for each and every test case. I will use at the rate before class and at the rate, I will use at the rate before and at the rate after, like this. After public void tear down. This is how log out from Facebook. See this, if I run it, log into the Facebook, testing message option, then log out from Facebook. Log in to Facebook, testing post status, log out from Facebook. Because I used at the rate before and at the rate after. What is the behavior of at the rate and before and at the rate after? They will be called for each and every test case. I have two test cases, that's why I log in call twice and log out call twice. Okay, this is one use case. If I want to log in once, run all the test cases, then log out from the website, then I will call at the rate before class and I will make the method as static, and here also I will make it as at the rate after class and I will make the method as static, because static keyword is needed for class kind of stuff. Okay, then I will run it. You can find the difference easily. See, log in into the Facebook, then both the test cases ran, test message option, testing post status, then log out from Facebook. So these are all four other annotations we have apart from at the rate test. At the rate before class and at the rate before, at the rate after class and at the rate after. The purpose of at the rate before and at the rate before class is to do the setup which is not part of the test case. The difference between at the rate before and at the rate before class is, at the rate before class will be called for the class once, even you have 100 test cases, it will be called only one. At the rate before will be called for each and every test case. If you have 100 test cases, it will be called 100 times. Same as at the rate before and at the rate before class, there are two more, at the rate after and at the rate after class. The purpose of them is to perform tear down. If you want to close log out from the website at the end of the test case, you can do that at within at the rate after and at the rate after class method. Those are all not part of test cases, so we'll keep them here. The difference between at the rate after and at the rate after class is after class will be called once for the class, irrespective of the number of test cases present in that class. At the rate after will be called for each and every test case we have in our class. Yeah, this is about annotations. Is it clear for everyone? Or do you have any doubts?
You also imported this after class system?
Yeah, I have imported after class. So whatever annotation you have to use, that has to be imported
Usually,
before class and after class. What unit after class, before class, test, all are
okay,
imported. So don't type it.
okay,
If you directly type it, no, it doesn't import you. So let me remove this import. Many beginners will do this mistake. What will they do means they will say at the rate before class. They will type it. If they type, then it won't be imported. You will get the error like this. Okay, then you have to manually import it. My suggestion is always type it around 60% something like that, then say control space. If you say control space, if you have two imports, if you have two import options, he will give you like this. If he has only one option, he will directly import. So if you after typing 60%, if you say control space, you will get the list, right? You can choose one of them. So here we are talking about Junit, so you should import org.junit. If you click on it, he will he will complete that annotation. Along with that, he will import it too. So you don't need to bother about the import. So that's why I'm suggesting everyone don't type the annotation. Always do control space after typing 60% of it. Then you will get the list like this. Then choose one of them. Then you will get the complete annotation along with the import. Okay, yeah. As Hari mentioned, you need to practice. You can easily understand, but if you don't practice, you will forget. Try to write it by your own after the class, all the things what we have discussed. Okay, yeah. 1 minute, 1 minute. Hello? Yeah. Uh, so we discussed about five annotations, right? At the rate before class, at the rate after class, and at the rate test. There is one more annotation that is at the rate ignore. Okay. If I don't want to run a test case, okay, I have 100 test cases. I don't want to run two test cases in that run. So what can I do means I can add at the rate ignore annotation. At the rate ignore. If I say at the rate ignore, that won't be run. See this, run as Junit. If you open the list, it will show you 2 by 2, but see this, within the bracket it is showing 1 is skipped. So this test message is skipped because I added at the rate ignore. So if I have 100 test cases, if I don't want to run one or two of them, I can add at the rate ignore annotation for 2 of them. So if we add at the rate ignore annotation, that test case won't be executed in that particular test run. Okay. So totally we have 6 annotations in JUnit apart from asset methods. Asset methods are there to validate. Annotations are there to make methods as either test methods or setup methods or tdown methods, or to ignore that method from the test run. So at the rate before and at the rate before class are there for setup, at the rate after and at the rate after class are there for tdown, at the rate test is there to make a method as test method, and at the rate ignore is there to skip the test case from a particular test run. Okay, this is all about JUnit. If you learn both annotation and assertion, then the JUnit portion is finished. Is it clear for everyone? Okay. Now I will show you how to install Selenium IDE. We have done with both Selenium, we have done with both Java and JUnit course contents. So we completed till here. Next topic is introduction to Selenium. I have already gave introduction on Selenium. Selenium is a web automation tool. Whatever you are manually doing on top of Selenium, whatever you are manually doing on top of web browser, you can do it through Selenium. Okay. Selenium ID is a new topic. It will uh, take around 30 to 40 minutes. Is it right time to start? I'm just thinking. Do you want me to continue, or can we start it tomorrow? What is your opinion? Okay. Okay, I will do one thing. I will just do setup in this class. We will discuss on it in next class. Okay. If you wanna do setup of Selenium IDE, you should install Firefox browser first. You need a Firefox browser in your machine. Do you have Firefox? If you have Firefox, just open it. If you don't have Firefox, install it. Install Firefox first. Okay. If you don't have Firefox, after this session, install Firefox and I will tell you few steps, right? Do that by following this video. Okay. So if you have Firefox, open the Firefox browser and open google.com. Open Google. say Selenium downloads. Just search for that, Selenium downloads. You will get a link called downloads-selenium. Just click on that. So you will be navigated to this page, downloads page of Selenium. Just scroll down. Yeah. At the middle of the page, you can see Selenium IDE heading. You can see IDE heading. So within that, you can see download latest release version 2.9.0. Okay. And install some plugins. Just click on this 2.9.0. Go to Selenium downloads page. If you scroll down at the middle of the page, you can see Selenium IDE. Okay. Here you can see a link, download latest released version. If you click on it, you will get a pop-up like this. Shit. You will get a pop-up at the end. So this is the pop-up. If I click on this, I will get the pop-up. Okay. This is the pop-up. Firefox prevented this site from asking you to install the software. So you need to click on hello button. If you say hello button, if you click on hello, you will get a pop-up like this. You will get a pop-up like this. Then you should click on install now. You should click on install now button. So he's saying 5 add-ons will be installed after you restart Firefox. So say restart now. So you need to click on. So always there are, if you click on that link, no, it will ask you to for the permission. Then it will install. Then he will ask you to restart. Always click on the buttons. Whatever appeared, no, just click on them. Then Firefox will be installed. So those plugins will be installed and Firefox will be restarted. After restart the browser, you can see this icon, a pencil symbol with SC icon, SC letters and pencil icon. You can see that. Okay, this icon represents Selenium IDE plugin. Okay, you can do it only on Firefox browser because Selenium IDE is supported only on Firefox browser. That is the main limitation of Selenium IDE. If you use Selenium IDE, you can test the web application only on Firefox browser. You cannot test it on any other browser. That is the main limitation of Selenium IDE. So after installation, if you click on the Selenium IDE pop-up, you will get a Selenium IDE window like this. This window you can use to capture the request what you are manually doing on top of the browser. How to capture it, how to record a test case, how to play a test case, I will tell you in tomorrow session. For today, you need to download Selenium IDE and you need to install that plugin in Firefox browser, and you have to get this icon, SC icon. If you click on it, this window has to come. Okay, this is installation of Selenium IDE. Now tell me how many of you completed this setting now. How many of you followed me now? If you are done with it, say done in the chat. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, Hari is done. Harsha, have you completed the installation? Okay, you will do it later, right? Okay, I will send you the recording. Do it later. Okay, in next class, if we have any problem, just let me know. I will solve the problem and we'll continue with the Selenium IDE concept. Rajan, have you completed?
I don't have said that Firefox,
Firefox?
but I understood
Okay.
how to
Okay, you understood, right?
do it right.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, man. Yeah, good. Anyway, I will send you the recording. If you have any doubts, you can follow that and do the setup. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, yeah. That's it for today. If you don't have any doubts, I will leave. Okay, I will send you the recording after this. Within 30 minutes, I will email you today's recording. Okay? Yeah, that's it for